If you're a 7 to 8 figure entrepreneur and you're struggling to find your ideal girlfriend, then watch this video because you might be fishing in the wrong pond. And what we're gonna cover today is where and how to meet girlfriend material women in 2025. First, I'm gonna show you what 99% of men do that's getting them very average or below average results. Then the huge, big opportunity that there's available today, and then how to take advantage of that opportunity, the 3 steps to meeting girlfriend material women in 2025 and where to do it. And I'm even going to give you a mission that you have to accomplish this week to get forward and move forward with this issue. So as I was saying, first of all, let's cover what 99% of men do nowadays. Most men try to meet women through dating apps. And look, this is the easiest way because you're just in the sofa of your bed, just take out your phone and start swiping. And it gives you a lot of dopamine because you see very attractive, very pretty women on your screen, and you might even get a match. And that gives you that edge of, oh my God, I'm about to meet this woman. But if you're watching this video, chances are high that dating apps are not giving you the results that you want. So maybe you're spending a lot of time in them and you're getting very few matches. And from those few matches, you're getting few replies. And from those few replies, you're getting few dates. And from those dates, not many of those women you consider yourself with long term. So you wouldn't consider them girlfriend material women. And look, dating apps are fine. Some people that I know have met a very good woman through a dating app, but we're talking about the great majority of people are not going to meet their ideal girlfriend through a dating app. Because look, 99% of men are doing that. You're just operating in a red ocean with a lot of competition. So there's very few amazing quality options in those dating apps, and they're it's very hard to get to them because you're competing with everybody else. And the same happens with social media. So you might think, look, I saw this very cute, hot girl. I saw her on profile on Instagram. I'm going to send her a DM. And you will be one of 50, one of 100 guys who are DMing that girl, especially if it's a very attractive girl. And the way that you can differentiate yourself through that message is very little. You might be able to create a super high quality profile on Instagram, but especially these two, if you do not have like model quality looks into you, if you're not like a model, it's very hard to get the attention in those platforms. So again, red oceans where there's a lot of competition and where the opportunities that you have are very few. Because let's be honest, a lot of people, and women included, who are on dating apps are not so much looking for a relationship. Yes, some of them are, but we're talking about the great majority. Now, let's talk about social circle because I actually quite like this. This is the most, let's say, natural way to meet your ideal girlfriend, and it's the way that throughout most of humanity, people have met each other. So it was the social circle. Maybe your families were friends and the kids of the families then meet and start a relationship. That's super cool. That's amazing. But the problem with this is that it's not very proactive. So you cannot, I'm going to take my pen here. It's not very proactive. It's not something that you can do today. If you do not have any options, you cannot think, okay, maybe after 6 months, a friend of mine is going to introduce me to a woman. Well, good luck waiting because it might be 6 months, it might be 12 months, it might be 18, 24 months, or it might never happen. And even if your friends introduce you to somebody, that's only one option. It's like one lead. Imagine if your business depended on just one lead. How would that work out for you? Like, probably not very good. The same way as if you want to hire somebody for your business and you only have one candidate, how is that going to work out for you? What is your communication going to be with that candidate? What is the type of neediness that you're going to feel because it's your only option. And what is the candidate going to feel in that respect? He's going to have all the leverage because he's the only person that wants to work for your company. So that's the key, where you need to do something proactive. Okay, you can have your social circle and have that as one option. Amazing. Your social circle might give you contact of a woman that you meet through friends, through a party, through a wedding. That's all amazing, but we don't want to wait for that to happen. We want to start taking action to start filtering and seeing how to find a woman in 2025, not to wait until 2030. I know if you want to wait until 2040, maybe your social circle will introduce you to somebody by that point. And then we'll go to work related. So look, I know some people especially men, who fall into this trap where they haven't created options in their dating life. And then when they're around women in their work environment, so let's say in your case, you're a business owner, your secretary, or some other worker, or some client that you meet somewhere, or you go to a business event, and part of your mind is thinking, okay, this woman that I met, I'm thinking about the work part, but also I'm thinking about maybe there's something more going on here. And look, I wouldn't recommend it at all. Actually, there's a phrase, a popular quote that people say in Spanish. I will say it and then I will translate it, which is, donde tengas la olla, no metas la... And then that is your penis, basically. What it means is, wherever you have the food, do not put your dick in it. Just to be very explicit, okay? So whatever is giving you food, money, progress in your finances, do not relate it with your dating life, because it's going to be a mess, a very big mess. And the only thing that's going to happen is that maybe you get sued, okay? Nowadays this happens a lot. You start something with the secretary, things don't work out, and then you're very liable to getting sued because you try to do something in an authority position. That can happen. Or maybe you just create some weird situation with a client or with somebody at an event. So the way that I like to think about it is that whenever I'm in a work environment, I'm in a work environment. And I do not think about all the things. I just think about how to advance in that vertical. And then you can develop, and we'll talk about the big opportunity, other areas of your life where your main objective is to meet women and to go out there and have options. And that way you keep it separated, you keep everything very neat, everything very coordinated and with harmony. Now let's go to the fifth option that 99% of men do, which is relying on partying and alcohol to meet women. And this even has become kind of old school nowadays because everybody is on social media and dating apps. So less and less people are going out to, bars, pubs, and clubs to meet women. But still, there are some men who relied on this. So think, okay, I'm going to go to some party, somebody's going to invite me, and to meet women, I'm going to rely on some alcohol because I haven't developed the ability to be charismatic, be attractive, be confident without that alcohol element on me and on the woman. And I never liked to rely on external things. So I always liked to, even caffeine, I don't like to take caffeine. And I know that many business guys do, it's amazing if you do. But I do not like it because I do not like to rely on something external. And in my mind, I went out to parties and I went out to clubs, but I never drank alcohol. And this was a way to practice my social skills. But even then, in those parties and those clubs and those bars and pubs, we're talking about how to meet girlfriend material women. And look, I did meet some, very, very nice, very intelligent, very smart women in those parties and clubs. It can happen. Okay, it's the birthday of a girlfriend and she's just out there dancing a little bit. That can happen. But again, you have to think about what is the trend wherever you're doing it. So the trend on dating apps is more so hookups. The trend on clubs and bars and pubs is more so hookups. So you're again fishing in the wrong pond and you're spinning your tires. And even if you get results in terms of you get a date, you get some type of hookup, yeah, you realize that after 1 year, after 2 years, you haven't met any women that you would see yourself with long term. Because then, again, you're fishing in the wrong pond. And this is a very important quote, which is, if you do what 99% of men do, you'll get their same results. And I think it was Einstein who said, it's the definition of madness to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. And I will add to that. I think it's madness to think that I'm going to do what 99% of men do, but I will get my amazing results. In my experience, it doesn't work that way. If you want 1%, top 1% results, you need to take top 1% actions. You know this already in business. If you want to have a top 1% business, you have to act like a top 1% business owner. And it's the same in your dating life. So what is the big opportunity? And this big opportunity puts you directly in the top 1% in terms of the dating market. This big opportunity is called approach, which is whenever you're out there on the street, going to the grocery store, in the mall, in a park, just relaxing, and you see a woman that you find attractive, having the capacity to go up to her, strike up a conversation, and see if there's a connection to meet again on a date. Now, this sounds very simple, and it actually is, but there's a whole lot of process, a journey that goes into being able to do this. And look, there's many benefits to going through this process and learning this ability, developing this skill set into you. The first of all is access. So, as I was saying, in dating apps, in partying, alcohol, on social media, on your work, you're a bit limited on the type of women that you're gonna find there. So in your social circle, you're just limited to the people that get introduced to you. On going out to parties and drinking alcohol, you're limited to women who have that kind of lifestyle. And maybe you don't even want that type of woman in your life. The same with dating apps and social media. I've met many women who have never been on a dating app, and many women who have very little social media presence that you wouldn't even be able to DM her because her profile is private and she doesn't have a profile picture. And maybe that's the type of qualities that you want to filter for. So again, the cool thing with cold approach and being able to go up to a woman and speak to her anywhere, anytime, is that you get access to all the women in your city. So you have a bigger pool. All those women who are not on dating apps, not very active on social media, you wouldn't meet through your social circle, you wouldn't meet through your work related, you don't even want to, okay, but you wouldn't do that, and you wouldn't meet them at a club or at a party. You are able to access them through cold approach. And that's the beauty of it. So it doesn't matter what type of woman that you want. Like we will have, for sure, different tastes. So my taste might be one. Your taste might be another. You might like very, very sporty type of women. You're gonna find them through cold approach. You might like heavy metal, okay? Just as a, let's say, extreme example. You will find those women going to the supermarket, going to the grocery store, in the mall. So even those women, you're gonna find them as well. So it gives you a huge access to all type of women so that you can decide what is the girlfriend material woman for me and how can I meet her thanks to cold approach. Now the second benefit of cold approach is the differentiation. So look, as I was saying, if you do what 99% of men do, you're gonna get the same results because women are gonna see you as just one more DM in my Instagram inbox, one more guy that swiped right on me, one more guy that I see at a club drinking alcohol. But if you do cold approach, it's like, oh fuck, this guy is different. This guy is doing something which is kind of out there. It hasn't happened to her too often. So you immediately go into another category in her mind, because she might have 10 guys who have sent her a DM on Instagram. She ignores all of them, and she would have ignored your message as well. But because you had the balls to approach her in person, then she thinks of you in a different way. And also because in person, you can differentiate yourself through more authentic manners. So on Instagram, you're going to differentiate yourself by acting cool and having some cool pictures and putting out there a certain status. And that's also going to attract a certain type of women. So if you have good money and you start posting very good car, very good environments, status places, then you're filtering directly for women who really value that. And I'm not saying that you have to go for some women who thinks that material things are not important and some spiritual thing, but I'm just saying that if you want some girlfriend material woman, then you probably want to filter for a woman who doesn't have as that thing as the main thing in her mind when she's trying to meet you. And you're filtering that when you're trying to meet them through social media, and you're flexing to do that. But in person, you are able to transfer your energy. So the woman is able to see what kind of man you are in those first 2-3 minutes that you talk together. And you as well are able to filter. So that's the third point. The woman filters for you, for your energy, and you're able to filter her. And look, I'll just say the most obvious thing. I have a friend who actually gets a lot of success through social media, Instagram, in terms of dating. And even he says, look, it's happened to me so many times that the woman looks incredible in the Instagram pictures or on dating apps. And then you meet her in person, it's a totally different person. So there's such thing as filters nowadays. There's such thing as lighting, as poses, and many more things that are able to change the appearance of that woman. And that's just the appearance part. And then the personality, until you do not meet her for a date, you do not know what kind of person you have in front of you. And that's quite a lot of commitment. So scheduling a date, going for it, all the effort that it takes you to try to speak with her before that date. But when you do cold approach, boom, you filter instantly. In the first minute, in the first 2 minutes, you can see if there's potential for a connection or not. And you also get a lot of abundance because, look, if you're living in a decently sized town or city, there's a ton of women out there who would be a good match for you. So you get a lot of a feeling of abundance. So you feel that, okay, look, I have a lot of options and I can choose. If you're on dating apps and social media and you're not getting very good results, you're in a scarcity mindset. If a woman swipes right on you, is the first woman that swipes right on or replies to you on Instagram or a dating app, you feel scarcity. The same if they introduce her to you through a social circle, because you only have one option every 6 months, every 12 months. Same with work related. Same even with the party. You see a lot of women, but very few actually talk to you in the parties because there's a lot of chaos. They're there with the friends. The music is super loud. So my storage ran out. So again, just to continue, the big, huge opportunity right now is the fact that very few men are doing this because it takes balls, it takes courage, and it takes knowledge on how to do it correctly. So the only competition you're gonna have with cold approach is pickup artists who don't have much going on in their lives. And look, I have nothing against pickup artists. I was one of them back in the day, and that's how I started developing the ability to cold approach. But what I'm talking about here is that if you're a man who has developed himself physically, financially, in your standing in your life, and you're looking for a girlfriend in your life, so not only a hookup, you're able to differentiate yourself massively from pickup artists who are doing cold approach as well, yes, and by the way, they're a very small minority. And even them, you're gonna differentiate yourself from them by the fact that you're a man of a high caliber and you're looking for an actual relationship. So the women who want that are gonna gravitate towards you because they're able to smell very quickly when somebody just wants to hook up or when somebody is actually serious. So let's go onto the how, because I've told you what 99% of men do and what you will get in terms of results if you just do that. I've told you about the big opportunity, which is cold approach, and the benefits that it gives you. Let's talk about how to do it. And I'll be very quick and very simple with this explanation, because I just want you to go out there and take action and try it for yourself. But how? So first of all, be direct. What do I mean by being direct? I mean that in the first moment that you stop the woman or you go up to her, you tell her exactly why you are there. So masculine energy is direct and it goes for what it wants. You do not want to talk about the weather or ask her for an opinion or be some kind of indirect way on how to talk to her. You just want to say, hey, I found you attractive and I wanted to talk to you. My name is Armin. That's it. And she's going to let you know if she wants to continue the conversation or not. So if she's just not interested, she's going to let you know. And if she is interested or she's curious, most of the times she's going to be curious. If you do it in the correct way, then you can go further. But this is a very important point because, look, when I started, I read the book The Game and I was following some pickup artist channels at some point. And one of the things that I was trying at some point was being a bit indirect. So commenting something about her, commenting something about the street, asking for some opinion, and then kind of transitioning that into the fact that we can hang out. And whenever I did that, I felt a bit like an imposter. I felt like I was putting on kind of a character and I was hiding something. And I couldn't have this natural communication with the woman that I had in front of me. But when I started being direct, and I literally just thought one day, and I had heard this from other people, but I never paid attention. But then one day I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna give a compliment. Like, hey, I found you attractive, or I think you're cute. I wanted to come up and meet you. Like very super simple, super cliche. And oh my God, the reactions and the results that I started getting by being direct was incredible. So the reason why is that I was being more open, I was being more direct in the interaction, so the woman was reflecting that back onto me. And the same way, when you're being indirect and you're trying to hide something, seduce her little by little, you're gonna find a lot more shit tests from the woman. You're gonna find much not so smooth for everything to go. So again, be direct, just a simple compliment, catch her attention, like, hey, excuse me, I found you very attractive and I wanted to come up and speak to you. That's it. Or whatever comes to mind, but that's the structure, that get her attention, give her a compliment, introduce yourself. That's your opener. That's all you need to start a conversation. And it may sound simple, but it actually works. Number 2, emotional communication. A friend once told me, Armin, a woman is going to remember how you made her feel. And this has stuck to me ever since. And it really is true not only for women, but also for people in general. People remember how you made them feel. The woman in the interaction is going to think back to that interaction and think, okay, it was fun, it was interesting, I felt comfortable, I felt present. She's not going to think so much about the logical information that you guys exchanged. And even subconsciously, she's going to be drawn to you because you made her feel good emotions. So many guys, whenever they're meeting a woman for the first time, they're a bit stifled. And they only have some logical communication with her that doesn't create much of an impact in that person. And then they wonder why they get ghosted, or the woman doesn't, isn't super interested in continuing the conversation with them. When you have emotional communication, and the best way to do this is through a concept that I call the emotional buttons in the law of state transference, which is what you feel, she feels. The best way to transfer those emotions, those good emotions, onto the woman is by feeling those emotions yourself first. So if you want the woman to feel fun, if you want the woman to feel passion, interest, presence, comfort, then focus on feeling those emotions in yourself, and you're going to be able to transfer them onto her. Because look, it's the same as when somebody yawns in front of you and you start yawning as well uncontrollably. The same when somebody laughs a lot and you don't even know what they're laughing about, but you start laughing as well. Emotions are contagious, and the good emotions that you want the woman to feel, the best way to feel them is yourself first. And as you'll see, I'm putting this process in a natural way. So you're not trying to hide somebody. You're not trying to manipulate her in some way and creating some emotions onto her. You're focusing on yourself. You're focusing on being direct as a man, on mastering emotional communication, and number 3, on closing. And this means going for the contact. And there's many guys who have an amazing interaction with a woman, but because there are own limitations in their mind, they think, oh, it didn't go so well, I'm not even going to go for the number or the Instagram. And that's a huge mistake, because the woman, if she's there standing in front of you and still talking to you, hasn't told you to fuck off, then she's at least curious. I'm not going to say interested, at least curious. So you have to allow her to say no to you. You have to go for the contact. And if she's not interested, very clear, she's going to tell you, oh no, that's it. There's no problem. Or if she's not interested and she just gives you the contact to get you away from there, then okay, cool, but you at least got the contact and you're going to try the same in text. And she's going to tell you no at some point. So you always have to go for the close. You have to try to go for the close and get all the opportunities that you can thanks to that. So again, the how. First step is be direct. Number 2 is emotional communication. And number 3 is going for the close. And I'll tell you, if you're looking for your ideal girlfriend in 2025, you take advantage of this huge opportunity, which is called approach. You differentiate yourself from 99% of men who are relying on dating apps, social media, social circle, work-related, and party and alcohol to meet women. And you get amazing results in this area. And again, I will repeat, if you do what 99% of men do, you'll get their same results. And if you want to get top 1% outcomes, then you need to take top 1% actions. And I'll give you a final mission for today, which is starting to take that top 1% actions, which is doing your first approach this week. So set it on your calendar. Actually do this. Set aside 1 hour where you're gonna just take a walk through your city, and you're gonna, raise your head and see if there's some woman that you find attractive and you want to strike up a conversation. You know how to do it. With these 3 tips, you have enough to at least do that first approach, and it's gonna set a precedent that you take action. You do not only get the theory of this video and think, oh yeah, it's cool, la 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 la, but then when it comes to taking action, you don't do anything. So actually do this mission. It's gonna help you a lot, and it's gonna also show you what type of feelings you feel in that situation. If you've never done it before, it's gonna be a very interesting experiment for yourself. So again, just to sum up, top 1% of results, top 1% of actions, the huge opportunity of cold approach that's gonna give you access to the exact type of woman that you want in your life, that's gonna differentiate yourself from any other guy, because very few of them are doing cold approach, and the few who do, not many of them have their shit together in their life, and not many of them are looking for a girlfriend. And it's gonna allow you to filter for the exact type of woman that you want. Be direct, have that emotional communication, and always go for the close. And the mission for this week is that this week you do your first approach. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a 7 to 8 figure entrepreneur and you want to find your ideal girlfriend in person without relying on dating apps or social media, then you can go to armengaribian.com and you'll be able to see more of my story and book a call there to talk directly with me. and see if it's a good fit for us to work together to achieve this goal as soon as possible in the best way and most solid way possible. That's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.